Welcome to Trail Shoes Reviewed. Today we're looking at the New Balance Hierro V9. New Balance have updated this significantly from the V8, so we've got some changes in the midsole, the outsole and the fit on top. We're going to discuss these changes, how it feels underfoot and what's the best use cases for these shoes. So if we look at the outsole initially, we've got the Vibram Megagrip outsole with 4.5mm lugs in it this time. So we've got multi-directional lugs that give plenty of grip on different types of terrain, and whilst the previous iterations of this might have been best used for road to easy trail, we feel like we can use this on more muddy terrain now. Not necessarily very technical terrain, and we'll explain why that's the case later, but it's definitely got more grip underfoot, a bit more traction, especially for those wet muddy days. And as we move up the shoe, we've got the Fresh Foam X dual density midsole. So while it's not as soft and as mushy as what we might see in the road running version of the 1080, it gives an element of firmness to it, but it still has some softness to it when you initiate contact with the ground, and that's what we'd hope to see in one of these more max stack cushion shoes. So in the rear foot, we've got 33mm of cushioning and 29mm of cushioning in the forefoot, giving you a 4mm drop. Now some of you may not enjoy that if you've got an Achilles issues, but for most of you, you'll enjoy the even spread and distribution of force across the foot that's associated with a more low drop shoe. Then as we move along the shoe, we've got some big sidewalls on the inside around the heel and on the outside. Then we've got some smaller sidewalls on the forefoot on the outside and on the inside. Now their primary function is to keep your foot centered in the shoe as you move. They've got some mild sole flare on the shoe in the forefoot where the sole comes out wider than where your foot sits in the shoe. That increases the amount of contact that you have with the ground, making the shoe a little bit more stable, and it's a really nice addition when you've got such increased stack height, because that gives you those added elements of stability. As we move up the shoe, we've got a nice toe guard on the front of the shoe. It's relatively soft, so it gives you elements of protection, but if you kick a big rock, you're still definitely going to feel it. Then it has some more protection that wraps further around the shoe, halfway around the midsole, on the inside and on the outside of the shoe. As we move up the shoe, we've got a classic true to size fit in length, and because the toe box is a little bit shallow in the toe, it might feel like a little bit of a tight fit. We didn't have any problems with it, but you may need to consider a half size up if you're in between sizes. Otherwise, it does come in a wide version, although we felt that the normal version has plenty of width in the toe box, which we typically associate with New Balance. And then we've got really good lace lockdown on top. We've got a gusseted tongue that's great for keeping out any dirt or debris we're on those trails, and we've got plenty of padding around the heel counter, and that's moderately stiff. So those of you who have any issues with sensitivity on the back of your heel, I don't think you'll have any problems with this, because we've got plenty of padding and it's relatively soft with a nice pull-on D-ring at the back of the shoe. So overall, we think this shoe can be used as a road to trail shoe. You can transition nicely from the road onto easy terrain or onto wet, muddy terrain such as fields and forests. When taking it up the mountain, because it's a little bit bulky and a little bit chunky, coming in around 297 grams for a size 9 men's US, and the fact that the lug length isn't as deep as some other shoes like the Hoka Speed Goat 6 or the Topo Mountain Racer 3, it's not going to be as good on steep technical terrain as those shoes, as it's a little bit chunkier, a little bit heavier, and it doesn't have that lug length that we associate with those other shoes. So an excellent road to trail option if you're looking for a recovery run shoe, a shoe just to get easy mileage in or longer distances in. Super comfortable, plenty of space inside the shoe, and it's got some more grip than we saw in the previous model. So an excellent update overall. If you want to check out the latest prices of the shoes, we've added them into the description below. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. Otherwise, we've got loads of reviews on our channel. Like and share and subscribe to the channel makes a massive difference to us. Thank you for watching.